Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of MindSpun, your channel for your music fix. Today, we're going to talk about another one of the best album intros ever, and specifically, we're going to talk about the lovely intro Heritage for the album of the same name that marked a change in the style of music that amazing prog rock metal band Opeth would play from that album on out. Ever since Heritage, the band has had a focus on creating a more progressive rock sound, less death metal, and with another key characteristic missing from the band's sound, which to this day is still a topic amongst Opeth fans, which is Michael Ackerfeldt's distinctive growls missing in the new sound. The lack of Michael's growls on Heritage makes me feel two ways, to be honest. One is that the composition and songwriting on the album to my liking are stellar, and that they are not necessary to enjoy the album at all. But Michael's growls are some of my favorite in metal in general, so they will always be missed. And I personally love the direction that Opeth took in Heritage and from then on, since I always love when bands take risks, no matter what fans will think, and just do music that makes them happy, since it usually turns out better when done with that intention, with the heart, and I can see that evolution in Opeth, in making music that they love and them growing as a band that experiments with their sound. And I found out that the first two songs Ackerfeldt wrote for Heritage were in the style of Watershed, their previous album before Heritage. And after hearing the songs for the first time, Martin Mendes, on bass guitar, told Ackerfeldt that he would be disappointed if the album continued in that direction. Relieved that Mendes was not interested in doing another conventional Opeth album, Ackerfeldt scraped the two songs and started the writing process over in a different style. In the press release for Heritage, Michael Ackerfeldt revealed that he felt as though he had been building to write the album since he was 19 years old. In a review for AllMusic, Tom Jurek called Heritage the band's most adventurous album, describing the songs as drenched in instrumental interludes, naughty key and chord changes, shifting time signatures, clean vocals, and a keyboard-heavy instrumentation that includes mellotrons, Rhodes pianos, and Hammond organs. Also, for more background on how the band felt when writing the album, frontman Michael Ackerfeldt mentions the following. I feel a bit discouraged with the contemporary metal scene, and I wanted to break away from it even more. I feel we have been on the outskirts of that scene for a couple of years, and I just couldn't see myself writing another album in the same vein as the last couple of records. Thankfully, I listen to so many different kinds of music, and writing music has never been a problem. I have always seen Opeth as a band without boundaries, so if it is good and everybody in the band likes it, it is an Opeth record. In the end, I sat down and wrote the music that I wanted to hear right now. Which to me is the way I think every artist should try to approach songwriting in general, so good for Opeth. Also, the album was released on September 14th, 2011 through Roadrunner Records. The album was recorded in early 2011 at Atlantis Studios in Stockholm and produced by Michael Ackerfeldt, engineered by Jan Hansen, and mixed by Steven Wilson. It takes on a full-fledged progressive rock sound, like we mentioned, something the band had wanted to do for some time, a stark contrast to the progressive metal and death metal sounds of their past albums. So, that is some background on the 10th album from Opeth, Heritage, but let's get into why I think this album has one of the greatest intros of all time, the song with the same album title named Heritage. So Heritage, a 2-minute piano piece that immediately grabs your attention once it starts and makes you feel a certain nostalgia. A nostalgia that I would describe like visiting the first house where you grew up in, seeing your room, and certain memories pop up in your head of those times. And that tune, I can imagine it in the background perfectly as I visit each section of that house. And to me, it sets the mood for the whole album. And there are some moments of exquisite beauty in that intro. For example, those moments where each phrase ends and certain notes are left suspended in the melody create a charm that enamors me about that intro, that makes me feel a bit tingly inside. And I also love that it's subtle and that the whole first section is piano alone, and in the minute mark we get the presence of the bass, and it creates a beautiful bass for the piano melody to carry on singing. I also love how The Devil's Orchard starts right after Heritage as well, with a contrast between the piano melody and the progressive notes breaking in, creating a rhythmic line, making the entry of the second track with full-on progressive power. And for catching my attention right away and being a perfect opener for a prog album, Heritage is one of my favorite intros of all time. a beautiful intro for an album that caused a certain portion of Opeth fans to shy away from their new progressive sound. But it was a critical and commercial success. The album sold 19,000 units in the United States in its debut week, charting at number 19 on the Billboard 200, and the album was the first since 2003's Damnation not to feature Ackerfeld's signature death growls, and still, it was an amazing album, and I personally still get excited every time Opeth announces a new album. Even though, inside, I wish that Michael will one day growl again on some new tracks, but time will tell. As for what Opeth is up to right now, well, not much due to the pandemic, since they had to cancel all touring plans they had for this year, but they recently announced an European tour for March 2021. And they also shared a post on Instagram of a way to help out the music industry in the UK that is suffering from the pandemic. We will leave the link in the description box so you can read more on this situation. And finally, if you haven't listened to their last album, In Cauda Venenum, we recommend you check it out. It is a lovely album and it comes in 2 languages, Swedish and English, which is an awesome homage to their Swedish roots. And anyways, that is it for now, but if you enjoyed this track, let us know why in the comment section and give us a like if you enjoyed this video. Also, let us know if you think it is one of the greatest intros of all time, why or why not, and subscribe to our channel for more musical content. Just for this week, we will release our videos on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so stay on the lookout for that, and we will see you all in the next episode. So stay safe, everyone.